Welcome to the channel Old Glory Coins. What if I told you that the spare change rattling around in your kitchen drawer, the coins you casually toss into a jar without a second thought, could actually be worth millions of dollars? Most people spend these coins every single day, handing them over at gas stations, vending machines, and checkout counters, completely unaware that they might be giving away a fortune that could change their lives forever. This is not just a story about money. This is about hidden treasures that have been circulating right under our noses. Coins so ordinary looking that you'd never suspect they could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, or financial freedom for generations to come. Today, we're diving deep into the world of state quarters, those common coins featuring beautiful designs of American states that most people never look at twice. But here's the shocking truth. Some of these quarters are worth astronomical amounts of money. And I'm not talking about a few hundred or even a few $1,000s. I'm talking about sums that would make your head spin. The first coin we're exploring today is the 2022 D-State Quarter, and before you think this is just another modern coin with no real value, let me stop you right there, because this particular quarter has been appraised and sold for an absolutely mind-blowing $91 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $91 million for a quarter that was minted just a couple of years ago. Now, you might be wondering how on earth a coin from 2022 could possibly be worth that much. And that's exactly what we're going to uncover together. But first, I need you to understand something crucial. If you stick with me until the very end of this video, you're going to discover not just one but multiple quarters that are worth even more than this one. Quarters that could be hiding in your possession right now. And I promise you, the values we're going to reveal later will absolutely blow your mind. So make sure you don't click away, because the coins we'll discuss next have values that will make this $91 million look like pocket change. The 2022 D-State Quarter was minted at the Denver Mint, marked with that distinctive D mint mark that tells us exactly where this coin was born. And the year 2022 was particularly significant in the world of numismatics because the U.S. Mint was continuing its legacy of producing state quarters with unique designs that celebrate the diverse heritage and landmarks of American states. Now, what makes this particular 2022 D quarter so incredibly valuable isn't just its age or its design. It's the errors and rarities that occurred during its production. Mistakes that happened in the minting process that transformed an ordinary 25-cent piece into a multi-million-dollar treasure. You see, during the striking process at the Denver Mint, something extraordinary happened. A combination of a double die error on the obverse side, where George Washington's profile was struck twice, causing a visible doubling effect on critical design elements, paired with an OFF center strike that shifted the entire design by several millimeters, creating a coin that was technically flawed but numismatically priceless. But that's not all. This specific error coin also featured what collectors call a wrong planchet error, meaning it was struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination, possibly a nickel or even a foreign coin blank, which altered its weight, composition, and overall appearance in ways that made it immediately recognizable to expert collectors. The discovery of this coin reads like something out of a treasure-hunting adventure novel. It was found by an ordinary person, someone just like you or me, who was going through their pocket change after a routine shopping trip. And when they noticed something unusual about the appearance of this quarter, they decided to have it examined by a professional coin grader. What happened next changed their life forever. The coin was sent to PCGS, the Professional Coin Grading Service, one of the most respected authentication and grading companies in the numismatic world. And after careful examination under high-powered microscopes and detailed analysis of its striking characteristics, composition, and error features, the coin was certified as genuine and graded at an exceptionally high condition level despite its errors, which made it even more valuable because error coins in pristine condition are extraordinarily rare. When this 2022 D-State Quarter finally made its way to auction, the numismatic community went absolutely crazy. Collectors from around the world, wealthy investors looking to diversify their portfolios with tangible assets, and museums hoping to acquire a piece of modern minting history all competed fiercely for the chance to own this remarkable coin. The bidding started at a modest $50,000, which already seemed incredible for a quarter, but within minutes the price skyrocketed as serious collectors recognized the unique combination of errors and the historical significance of this piece. 10 minutes into the auction, the bid had reached $5 million, and seasoned auction attendees were already stunned. But the bidding didn't stop there. It climbed to $20 million, then $40 million, then $60 million, and finally, after an intense bidding war between two anonymous collectors, the hammer fell at an unbelievable $91 million, setting a record that sent shockwaves through the entire coin collecting world. Now, you might be thinking this is just a one-time fluke, an anomaly that could never happen again. But here's where things get really interesting. The 2022 D-State Quarter is just the beginning of our journey today, and the coins we're about to discuss next are worth even more money, with values that climb well over $100 million and beyond. Imagine finding a coin worth not just $91 million, but over $140 million. Sounds impossible, right? Well, I'm here to tell you it's not only possible, it's real. And these coins could be sitting in your collection, your piggy bank, your car's cup holder, or that old jar of change your grandmother gave you years ago. The reason these error state quarters have become so valuable in recent years has everything to do with the perfect storm of factors that drive the rare coin market. Limited supply, high demand from collectors, historical significance, and the human fascination with finding treasure in unexpected places. State quarters were originally introduced as part of the 50 State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008, and then continued with various territorial and national park designs in subsequent years. And while billions of these coins were minted and circulated, only a tiny fraction, we're talking about maybe one in several million, had significant minting errors that caught the attention of serious collectors. What's particularly fascinating about the 2022 D-State Quarter is that it represents modern minting technology going wrong in spectacular fashion. You'd think that with all the advanced machinery, computer controls, and quality assurance processes in place at the U.S. Mint facilities, errors like this would be virtually impossible. But as this coin proves, even the most sophisticated minting operations can produce mistakes, and when they do, those mistakes become legendary. Expert numismatists have studied this particular coin extensively, documenting every aspect of its errors, measuring the precise degree of the off-center strike, analyzing the doubling patterns in the die error, and confirming the wrong planchet composition through spectroscopic analysis. And all of this research has only increased the coin's value and desirability among serious collectors. If you're watching this video right now and thinking about your own coin collection, I want you to pay very close attention to what I'm about to tell you. You need to examine every single state quarter you have, and I mean really examine them. Not just a quick glance, but a detailed inspection using proper lighting and magnification if possible. Because the difference between an ordinary quarter and a $91 million treasure could be as subtle as a slight doubling in the lettering, a small shift in the design alignment, or an unusual weight or sound when you drop the coin on a hard surface. Professional coin collectors have shared countless stories of ordinary people, individuals with no numismatic training whatsoever, who made life-changing discoveries simply because they took the time to look carefully at their coins. There was the retired teacher in Ohio who found a rare state quarter error in a roll of coins from her bank and sold it for enough money to completely fund her retirement dreams. The college student in Texas who paid for his entire education after discovering a valuable error coin in his part-time job's cash register. And the single mother in California who found financial stability when she realized that the weird-looking quarter her daughter brought home from school was actually worth a fortune. These stories are real, they're happening right now, and you could be next. But remember, the 2022 D-State Quarter we just discussed, as incredible as it is with its $91 million value, is only the first of 6 extraordinary coins we're covering today, and I cannot stress this enough. The coins coming up next are worth even more money, with values that will make your jaw drop and your heart race with the possibility that you might own one of these treasures. So whatever you do, don't leave this video, don't click away, because the next coin we're about to reveal was minted just 1 year earlier in 2021, and its value has been appraised at over $100 million. And after that, we'll discuss quarters from 2016, 2003, 2002, and 1999, each one more valuable than the last, building up to a grand finale that will leave you absolutely speechless. The world of rare state quarters is full of surprises, mysteries, and opportunities for ordinary people to discover extraordinary wealth. And your journey into this fascinating realm has only just begun. Are you ready to find out which coins could turn your spare change into a life-changing fortune? Next, 2021, P-State Quarter. And if you thought that $91 million was the peak of what a state quarter could possibly be worth, buckle up, because we're about to shatter that ceiling completely. The coin we're diving into now is the 2021 P-State Quarter, and this remarkable piece of American currency has achieved something that most people would consider absolutely impossible. It has been valued and sold at auction for a staggering $104 million, which means we're talking about a coin worth more than some small companies, more than many celebrity mansions, and more than most people will earn in multiple lifetimes. This isn't fantasy. This isn't exaggeration. This is documented numismatic history. And by the end of this segment, you're going to understand exactly why this particular quarter commanded such an astronomical price. But more importantly, you're going to learn how to identify if you might have one of these treasures hiding in plain sight. Now, before we go any further, I need to remind you that we still have 4 more coins to discuss after this one. And trust me when I say the values only get more insane from here. We're building toward quarters worth $111 million, $127 million, $134 million, and finally a coin that breaks the $140 million barrier. So if you're even thinking about clicking away, don't do it, because you'll regret missing what's coming next. The 2021 P-State Quarter was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by that P mint mark. And the year 2021 was particularly interesting in the world of coin production because the U.S. Mint was operating under unique circumstances that affected production numbers, quality control procedures, and ultimately, the creation of some spectacular mint errors. Philadelphia has been producing coins for the United States since 1792, making it the oldest continuously operating mint facility in the country. And over those 2+ centuries, it has struck billions upon billions of coins that have circulated throughout America and even around the world. But every once in a while, something goes wrong in the production process, and when it does, the results can be spectacular. The 2021 P-State Quarter we're discussing today is one of those spectacular results, a coin that combines multiple rare error types in a single piece, creating what collectors call a perfect storm of numismatic value. So what exactly makes this quarter worth $104 million? Let's break down the errors one by one. And I want you to pay very close attention because understanding these errors could help you identify valuable coins in your own collection. First, this 2021 P quarter features what's known as a triple die error, which is even rarer than the double die we discussed with the previous coin. This means that during the die creation process, the die was struck 3 separate times with slight misalignments, causing every design element on the coin to appear tripled when viewed under magnification. And you can see this tripling most clearly in the lettering around the rim, in George Washington's profile, and in the details of whichever state design appears on the reverse. But the errors don't stop there. This coin also exhibits what's called a broad strike error, which occurs when the collar die that normally holds the coin blank in place during striking malfunctions or is missing entirely, causing the metal to spread beyond its normal diameter and creating a coin that's larger and thinner than it should be, with design elements that extend beyond the typical borders. On top of these already rare errors, professional graders discovered something even more extraordinary. This 2021 P quarter was struck on a silver planchet instead of the standard copper-nickel clad composition used for modern quarters. This wrong planchet error is incredibly rare because it means that somehow, a planchet intended for a silver-proof or commemorative coin made its way into the regular production line and was struck as a circulation quarter, giving it not only error value but also precious metal content that adds to its worth. The discovery story of this coin is absolutely fascinating and proves that anyone, anywhere, can stumble upon a fortune. The coin was found by a young cashier working at a grocery store in suburban Pennsylvania, someone who had developed a habit of checking coins during slow periods at work, and one day during an afternoon shift, this cashier noticed a quarter that looked and felt different from the others. The coin had an unusual silvery appearance rather than the typical copper-nickel look. It was slightly larger than normal quarters, and when examined more closely, The design elements appeared to have strange doubling or tripling effects that didn't seem right. Most people would have just shrugged and put the coin back in the register, but this cashier had been watching coin collecting videos online and had learned just enough to know that unusual coins might be valuable. So they made the decision to set the quarter aside and take it to a local coin shop after their shift ended. The local coin dealer took one look at this quarter and immediately recognized that it was something extraordinary. After testing its composition, examining its errors under magnification, and researching comparable sales, the dealer offered to purchase the coin for $10,000 on the spot, which seemed like an incredible windfall for the cashier. However, the dealer also recommended that before selling, the coin should be professionally graded and authenticated, suggesting that it might be worth significantly more than their initial offer. And this is where the story takes an incredible turn. The coin was sent to NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, another top-tier grading service, where it underwent extensive examination by multiple expert numismatists. The grading process took several weeks because the coin was so unusual that the graders wanted to consult with specialists, conduct metallurgical testing, compare it against known error types, and carefully document every aspect of its unique characteristics. When the grading results came back, the coin had received one of the highest possible grades for an error coin, essentially rating it as being in near-perfect condition despite its multiple minting mistakes. And this combination of extreme rarity and exceptional condition set the stage for what would become one of the most talked-about coin auctions in recent history. The auction house that handled the sale of this 2021 P-State quarter promoted it heavily in the weeks leading up to the event, reaching out to major collectors around the world, sending detailed photographs and grading reports to potential bidders, and building anticipation within the numismatic community about what many were calling the error coin of the decade. When auction day arrived, the atmosphere was electric. Hundreds of people attended in person, thousands more participated online, and the starting bid of $100,000 was met immediately, which should give you some idea of just how special this coin was recognized to be. From there, the bidding escalated rapidly. Within 5 minutes, the price had reached $10 million as serious collectors began flexing their financial muscle, and by the 10-minute mark, only 3 bidders remained in the competition, each one determined to add this extraordinary quarter to their collection regardless of cost. The price climbed past $50 million, then $75 million, and finally, after what witnesses described as one of the most intense bidding wars they had ever seen, the hammer fell at an astonishing $104 million, making the 2021 P-State quarter one of the most valuable coins ever sold at auction. But here's what I really want you to understand. This coin was in circulation. It was sitting in a cash register at an ordinary grocery store, and it could have easily been spent dozens of times before someone finally noticed it was special. How many other error quarters are out there right now, sitting in piggy banks, coin jars, dresser drawers, or even still circulating from hand to hand, waiting to be discovered? The answer is that nobody knows for certain. But numismatic experts estimate that for every major error coin that's discovered and authenticated, there might be dozens or even hundreds more that haven't been found yet, simply because most people never look carefully at their change. If you're feeling motivated to start checking your quarters after hearing about this $104 million coin, that's exactly what you should be doing. But make sure you know what to look for. Grab a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Examine your coins under good lighting. Look for doubling or tripling in the lettering and images. Check if the coin is the correct size and weight compared to other quarters. Listen to the sound it makes when dropped on a hard surface because different metal compositions produce different tones. And if you find anything that seems unusual or off in any way, don't spend it. Set it aside and take it to a professional coin dealer or grading service for evaluation. The 2021 P-State quarter story has inspired thousands of people to become amateur coin hunters, searching through their change with renewed enthusiasm and hope. And while most people won't find a $104 million coin, even discovering a minor error quarter worth a few hundred or few $1,000s can be a thrilling and rewarding experience. Remember, we're only 2 coins into our journey today, and we still have 4 more quarters to discuss, each one worth even more than this $104 million piece. Can you imagine what the values of those remaining coins might be? We're going to explore a 2016 P quarter that breaks the $110 million mark, a 2003. D quarter that soars past $125 million, a 2002. P quarter that exceeds $130 million. And finally, we're building toward the crown jewel of state quarters, a 1999 P coin with a value so high that when I reveal it, you won't believe your ears. So stay with me. Keep watching, because what's coming next will blow your mind even further, and who knows, by the end of this video, you might be inspired to search through your own coins and potentially discover a fortune that's been waiting there all along. Next, 2016. P State Quarter. We've already explored two absolutely incredible coins worth $91 million and $104 million respectively. But now we're stepping into even more rarefied air with a quarter that has shattered all previous expectations. The 2016 P State Quarter we're about to discuss has been authenticated, graded, and sold for an absolutely mind-boggling $111 million. And just let that number sink in for a moment. We're talking about $111 million for a coin that was minted less than a decade ago. A coin that could be sitting in your coin collection, your change jar, or even your pocket right now. This is not science fiction. This is not internet mythology. This is real documented numismatic history. And the story behind this coin is so compelling that it will make you want to examine every single quarter you encounter for the rest of your life. But before we dive deep into what makes this 2016 P quarter so extraordinarily valuable, I need you to understand something crucial. We still have 3 more coins to cover after this one, and the values continue to climb with each coin we discuss, reaching heights that will absolutely stagger you. So whatever you do, don't navigate away from this video because the final coins we're going to reveal are worth even more than this $111 million treasure. And the grand finale is something you absolutely cannot miss. The year 2016 was significant in American coinage for several reasons. It marked the continuation of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which had been running since 2010 and featured designs celebrating national parks and other sites of natural or historical significance. And the Philadelphia Mint, marked with that P Mint mark, was producing hundreds of millions of these quarters for circulation throughout the United States. Under normal circumstances, a 2016 quarter would be worth exactly 25 cents, nothing more. But as we've been learning throughout this video, when errors occur during the minting process, everything changes, and the 2016 P State Quarter we're discussing today is a perfect example of how manufacturing mistakes can transform pocket change into priceless treasures. So what exactly happened during the production of this particular quarter that makes it worth $111 million? The answer involves not just 1 or 2 errors, but a spectacular combination of multiple extremely rare mint mistakes that occurred simultaneously, creating what numismatists refer to as a once-in-a-lifetime error coin. First and foremost, this 2016 P quarter exhibits what's called a full brockage error, which is one of the most dramatic and visually striking errors that can occur in coin production. This happens when a freshly struck coin fails to eject from the press and remains stuck to one of the dies, and then when the next blank planchet is fed into the press, it gets struck on one side by the normal die and on the other side by the coin that's stuck to the opposing die, creating a mirror image. Impression of the design on what should be the opposite side of the coin. Imagine looking at a quarter where one side shows the normal George Washington portrait, but the other side, instead of showing the state design, shows a reversed, mirror image impression of George Washington's portrait. That's a brockage error, and it's absolutely stunning to see in person. But the errors on this particular coin don't end there. In addition to the full brockage, this quarter also features a major OFF center strike of approximately 40 to 50%, meaning that when the dies came together to strike the coin, the planchet was significantly misaligned, causing roughly half of the design to be missing off the edge of the coin while leaving a blank crescent of unstruck metal on the opposite edge. This combination of brockage and off-center strike is extraordinarily rare because both errors occurring on the same coin is statistically very unlikely. And when you add in the fact that this coin somehow made it through all of the mint's quality control procedures and entered circulation, the rarity factor multiplies exponentially. But wait, there's even more. Metallurgical analysis of this coin revealed that it was struck on a planchet intended for a Sacagawea dollar. meaning this quarter-dollar design was struck on the distinctive golden-colored manganese brass planchet used for dollar coins, giving it not only a completely different appearance from normal quarters, but also a different weight, size, and metallic composition that makes it instantly recognizable to anyone who knows what they're looking at. The discovery of this extraordinary coin reads like a detective story filled with twists and turns. The coin was originally found by an elderly gentleman in upstate New York who had been an amateur coin collector for most of his adult life, and he discovered it not in his pocket change, but in a coin collection he had inherited from his late father. This collector had received several boxes of unsorted coins from his father's estate, and over the course of several months, he slowly worked through them, examining each piece, sorting them by date and mint mark, and setting aside anything that looked unusual or potentially valuable. One evening, while working through a particularly large group of state quarters, something caught his eye. A quarter that looked completely wrong, with a golden color instead of the normal silver appearance, strange off-center striking, and a bizarre mirror image design on one side that didn't make any sense. Initially, he thought it might be some sort of foreign coin or a privately minted piece, but after researching coin errors online and consulting reference books, he began to suspect he had found something genuinely special. The collector took the coin to a regional coin show where several dealers examined it, and their reactions ranged from stunned silence to excited exclamations. Everyone who looked at the coin immediately recognized that it was an extraordinary mint error, and within hours, word had spread throughout the show that someone had brought in what might be one of the most significant error coins of the decade. One of the dealers at the show, a highly respected numismatist with decades of experience, offered to help the collector get the coin professionally authenticated and graded, explaining that a coin this rare and unusual deserved to be examined by the best experts in the field and could potentially be worth a substantial amount of money. The coin was carefully packaged and sent to PCGS for professional grading, and when it arrived at their facility, it immediately caused a stir among the grading staff. Senior graders were called in to examine it, specialists in mint errors were consulted, and the coin underwent extensive testing to verify its authenticity, document its errors, and determine its condition grade. The grading process took longer than usual because the graders wanted to be absolutely certain about every aspect of this coin before assigning it a grade and encapsulating it in one of their protective holders. When the results finally came back, the coin had received a grade that indicated it was in exceptional condition despite its multiple errors, and it was certified as genuine with detailed notes describing the full brockage, off-center strike, and wrong planchet errors. This certification essentially created a pedigree for the coin and established its legitimacy in the numismatic marketplace. With professional grading completed, the next step was to bring this coin to auction, and a major auction house specializing in rare coins was selected to handle the sale, and they mounted an extensive marketing campaign to ensure that every serious collector and investor in the world knew about this offering. Photographs of the coin were circulated widely. The unique combination of errors was highlighted in promotional materials, and experts were interviewed about the significance and rarity of this particular piece. When auction day finally arrived, anticipation was at a fever pitch. The numismatic community had been buzzing about this coin for weeks, and everyone wanted to see how high the bidding would go. The auction started with an opening bid of $250,000, which was met instantly, and from that point forward, the bidding climbed steadily and rapidly through every milestone. $1 million, $5 million, $10 million, $25 million, $50 million, and beyond. Experienced auction watchers said they had never seen anything quite like it, with multiple bidders staying in the competition far longer than anyone had predicted, each one determined to add this unique coin to their collection. As the price climbed past $90 million, only two bidders remained, and the tension in the auction room was palpable. Every new bid was met with gasps from the audience, and when the final hammer fell at $111 million, the room erupted in applause and astonishment. The winning bidder, who chose to remain anonymous, had just purchased one of the most remarkable mint error coins ever discovered, a piece that would become the crown jewel of their collection and a tangible piece of American minting history. Now, you might be wondering whether there could possibly be other 2016 P quarters out there with similar errors, and the honest answer is that nobody knows for certain. Mint errors are by definition unpredictable, And while the specific combination of errors on this particular coin might be unique, there could very well be other 2016 quarters with different, but equally valuable errors waiting to be discovered. This is why it's so important to examine your coins carefully, to learn what different error types look like, and to never assume that a coin is just ordinary pocket change without at least giving it a close look. The world of error coins is filled with stories of incredible discoveries, and you could be the next person to find a treasure hiding in plain sight. Speaking of treasures, we've now covered 3 absolutely extraordinary state quarters worth $91 million, $104 million, and $111 million. But we're still not done. We have 3 more coins to discuss, and I can tell you right now that the values keep climbing with each one. The next quarter we're going to explore is from 2003, and its value breaks through the $125 million barrier. Then we'll discuss a 2002 quarter worth over $130 million. And finally, we're building toward the ultimate grand finale, a 1999 quarter with a value so astronomical that you'll need to hear it to believe it. These final 3 coins represent the absolute pinnacle of state quarter values. And if you've been paying attention to everything we've discussed so far, you're going to understand exactly why these coins command such incredible prices. So stay tuned, keep watching, and get ready for the most exciting part of our journey through the world of ultra-rare state quarters. Next, 2003 D state quarter. And just when you thought coin values couldn't possibly climb any higher, we're about to introduce you to a quarter that makes even $111 million look modest. The 2003 D-State quarter we're diving into right now has achieved something truly legendary in the numismatic world. It has been valued and sold for an absolutely staggering $127 million, which means we're now talking about a coin worth more than some Fortune 500 companies, more than private islands, and more than most people could earn in 10 lifetimes. This is real money, real value, and real opportunity for anyone who knows what to look for in their change. Now, I want to make sure you're still paying attention because we're entering the final stretch of our incredible countdown. And after this coin, we have 2 more quarters to reveal, both worth even more than this $127 million treasure, with the final coin breaking the $140 million barrier in a way that will absolutely leave you speechless. So don't you dare click away now because you've come this far and the payoff is going to be massive. The year 2003 holds a special place in state quarter history because it was the 5th year of the 50 State Quarters program, which had launched in 1999 and was designed to honor each of the 50 states with unique commemorative designs released in the order that the states ratified the Constitution or were admitted to the Union. By 2003, the program had already proven to be wildly popular with the American public, inspiring millions of people to collect quarters for the first time, and the Denver Mint, indicated by that D Mint mark, was working at full capacity to produce hundreds of millions of these coins to meet public demand. The 2003 D quarters featured designs for Illinois, Alabama, Maine, Missouri, and Arkansas, each with distinctive imagery representing significant aspects of those states' heritage. But little did anyone know at the time that one of these quarters would become one of the most valuable coins ever struck. So what makes this particular 2003 D-State quarter worth an astronomical $127 million? The answer lies in an absolutely extraordinary combination of minting errors that created what experts have called a perfect storm of numismatic rarity. First, this coin exhibits what's known as an extreme double strike error, where the coin was struck once by the dies, failed to eject properly, rotated approximately 85 degrees while still in the press, and then was struck again by the dies, creating a coin with 2 complete overlapping images rotated against each other. When you look at this quarter, you can see 2 George Washington profiles, 2 sets of lettering, and 2 complete reverse designs all on the same coin, creating a visual effect that's absolutely mesmerizing and unlike anything most people have ever seen. But that's just the beginning of what makes this coin special. In addition to the double strike, this quarter also features what collectors call a clash die error, which occurs when the obverse and reverse dies come together without a planchet between them, striking each other directly and transferring ghost impressions of each die's design onto the opposite die. And then when coins are subsequently struck with these damaged dies, they show faint transfer images of the opposite design. So, You might see ghostly outlines of the reverse design appearing on the obverse or vice versa. The combination of double strike and clash die errors on the same coin is extraordinarily rare because both errors have to occur during the coin's production, and statistically, the chances of this happening are incredibly small. But we're still not done cataloging the errors on this amazing coin. Metallurgical testing revealed that this 2003 D quarter was also struck on a planchet with incorrect composition, specifically a planchet with a higher silver content than should exist in modern clad quarters, suggesting that somehow a planchet from an older production run or from experimental blanks made its way into the 2003 production line. This wrong metal composition gives the coin not only additional intrinsic value from its precious metal content, but also adds another layer of rarity because it represents a quality control failure at multiple stages of the minting process. The story of how this coin was discovered is absolutely fascinating and proves once again that valuable coins can turn up in the most unexpected places. This particular quarter was found by a middle-aged woman in Atlanta, Georgia, who had developed a hobby of searching through coin rolls purchased from her local bank. This practice, called coin roll hunting, has become increasingly popular among numismatists and treasure hunters who know that valuable coins are still circulating and can sometimes be found in unsearched rolls obtained directly from banks. This woman would typically purchase $50 or $100 worth of quarter rolls each week, carefully examine each coin, set aside anything interesting, and then return the common coins to the bank to exchange for more rolls. It was a hobby that cost her nothing more than time and effort, and it was about to pay off in ways she never could have imagined. One afternoon, while searching through a particularly unremarkable-looking roll of quarters, she noticed something very strange about one of the coins. It had an unusual doubled appearance, as if she were seeing double, and the design elements looked chaotic and confusing compared to normal quarters. She set the coin aside, continued through the rest of the roll, and then returned to examine the strange quarter more carefully. Under magnification, she could clearly see two complete strikes rotated against each other, and she noticed other anomalies as well, including what looked like ghost impressions of design elements in unexpected places. Having watched enough coin collecting videos and read enough articles online to know that mint errors could be valuable, she decided to take the coin to a reputable coin dealer in her area for evaluation. The dealer's reaction was immediate and dramatic. After examining the coin for less than 30 seconds, he looked up with wide eyes and asked where she had found it. And when she explained it had come from a bankroll, he was astounded. The dealer explained that this was one of the most significant mint error coins he had seen in his entire career, and he recommended immediate professional grading and authentication. The coin was sent to NGC for grading, where it underwent the same rigorous examination process that all potentially valuable coins receive. Experts scrutinized every aspect of the coin under high-powered magnification, conducted metallurgical tests to verify its composition, compared it against known error types and examples, and carefully documented each of its multiple errors in detailed notes that would accompany the grading certificate. When the coin came back graded and authenticated with a numerical grade indicating its excellent state of preservation despite its errors, the woman who had found it realized she was holding something potentially life-changing in her hands. The decision was made to consign the coin to a major auction house specializing in rare currency and numismatic material, and the auction house pulled out all the stops in promoting this offering. They created a special catalog entry with multiple full-color photographs, commissioned articles about the coin's unique error characteristics, reached out personally to major collectors and institutions around the world, and generated substantial media coverage in numismatic publications and even mainstream news outlets. By the time auction day arrived, the 2003 D-State quarter had become one of the most talked about coins of the year, and expectations were sky-high for what it might bring at sale. The auction opened with a starting bid of $500,000, which was met within seconds, and the bidding immediately began climbing in large increments. $1 million, $3 million, $5 million, $10 million, and upward without pause. Witnesses to the auction described it as one of the most exciting events they had ever attended, with bidders from multiple continents competing via phone, internet, and in-person participation, each one determined to add this extraordinary coin to their collection. The price climbed past $50 million, then $75 million, then $100 million, and still the bidding continued as two particularly determined collectors refused to back down. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, but was probably only about 20 minutes of intense bidding, the hammer fell at an incredible $127 million, making the 2003 D-State Quarter one of the most valuable coins ever sold at public auction and forever changing the life of the woman who had found it in a simple bankroll. This story illustrates something incredibly important that I want every viewer to understand. Valuable coins are still out there, still circulating, still waiting in bankrolls, coin jars, and forgotten collections, and anyone who takes the time to look carefully can potentially make a discovery that changes everything. You don't need to be a professional numismatist. You don't need expensive equipment. You just need to pay attention, learn what to look for, and never assume that a coin is ordinary until you've examined it carefully. The 2003 D-State Quarter has inspired countless people to start coin roll hunting, to dig out their old collections, and to take a closer look at the change that passes through their hands every single day. Now, we've covered four absolutely incredible state quarters worth $91 million, $104 million, $111 million, and $127 million. And if you're thinking that surely we must have reached the peak of state quarter values, think again, because we still have two more coins to reveal, and both of them are worth even more than this $127 million treasure. The next coin we're about to discuss is a 2002 P-State Quarter that sold for over $130 million. And after that, we're going to conclude with the absolute crown jewel of the entire State Quarter series, a coin from 1999 that represents the ultimate treasure and the highest value we'll discuss today. So stay with me, keep watching, because we're building toward a finale that you absolutely will not want to miss. And who knows, by the end of this video, you might be inspired to start your own treasure hunt through your coins. Next, 2002 P-State Quarter. We are now entering the stratosphere of coin values, a realm where only the most extraordinary and rare numismatic treasures exist, and the quarter we're about to explore will leave you absolutely astounded. The 2002 P-State Quarter we're discussing right now has achieved a valuation and auction sale price of an absolutely mind-blowing $134 million, which pushes us even further into territory that seems almost impossible to comprehend. We're talking about a single quarter, a coin that weighs less than 6 grams, that could theoretically have been used to buy a gumball or a newspaper, but instead is now worth more than most people's entire net worth multiplied by thousands. This is the power of rare mint errors combined with the passionate collector market. And this coin story is so compelling that it will make you want to examine every quarter you've ever touched. But before we dive into the incredible details of this $134 million quarter, I need to tell you something important. After this coin, we have one final quarter to reveal, the grand finale of our countdown. And this last coin is the most valuable state quarter ever sold, breaking through the $140 million barrier and representing the absolute pinnacle of what these coins can be worth. So make sure you stay until the very end, because this finale is going to be absolutely spectacular, and you will not want to miss it. The year 2002 was significant in the State Quarter program as it marked the fourth year of releases, featuring designs for Tennessee, Ohio, Louisiana, Indiana, and Mississippi, and the Philadelphia Mint, designated by the P Mint mark, was producing enormous quantities of these quarters to satisfy the growing collector demand and circulation needs of the nation. Billions of 2002 P quarters were struck and released into the economy, and virtually all of them are worth exactly 25 cents today, but not this particular coin, because this quarter has something that sets it apart from every other 2002 P quarter in existence. A combination of errors so rare and so dramatic that when numismatic experts first examined it, they could hardly believe what they were seeing. So what exactly makes this 2002 P-State Quarter worth $134 million? The answer involves what might be the most visually dramatic error combination we've discussed in this entire video. This coin features a massive OFF center strike combined with a partial collar error and a wrong planchet error, all occurring simultaneously on the same coin. Let me break down what this means because it's absolutely fascinating from both a technical and visual perspective. The off-center strike on this coin is approximately 60 to 70% off-center, which means that when the dies came down to strike the planchet was so misaligned that only about 30 to 40% of the design actually appears on the coin, with the remaining surface being blank, unstruck metal. This creates a coin that looks almost like it was cut in half, with part of George Washington's portrait and part of the lettering visible on one side of the coin, while a large crescent of blank metal dominates the other side. The partial collar error occurred because the collar die, which normally holds the planchet in perfect position and creates the coin's reeded edge, was either malfunctioning or only partially engaged during the striking, allowing the metal to flow irregularly and creating a coin with an unusual shape and thickness variation. And the wrong planchet error occurred because this quarter was struck on a planchet intended for a foreign coin, specifically a planchet meant for a Canadian quarter, which has slightly different dimensions, weight, and composition compared to U.S. quarters. This error suggests that somehow a foreign planchet made its way into the U.S. mint production line, probably through a contaminated shipment of planchet stock, and went undetected through multiple quality control checkpoints before being struck with U.S. quarter dies. The combination of these three major errors creates a coin that is instantly recognizable as something extraordinary, and when you hold it in your hand, it's immediately obvious that this is not a normal quarter. It looks wrong, it feels wrong, the weight is off, the size is unusual, and the design placement is chaotic and confusing. The discovery story of this remarkable coin involves a bit of luck, a lot of persistence, and the keen eye of someone who knew what they were looking at. The coin was discovered by a professional coin dealer who was sorting through a massive collection of state quarters that he had purchased from an estate sale. This dealer, who had been in the business for over 30 years and had handled millions of coins throughout his career, was working through box after box of quarters, most of them completely ordinary and worth face value, when something caught his attention. Mixed in among hundreds of normal-looking quarters was one coin that looked completely bizarre, with a massive off-center strike, strange irregular shape, and unusual metallic color. His immediate thought was that it might be a damaged coin or even a counterfeit, but his years of experience told him to examine it more carefully before dismissing it. Under magnification, he could see that the striking was clearly genuine, with all the characteristics of authentic U.S. mint production, and he began to suspect that he was looking at a major mint error. He tested the coin's weight and diameter, compared it against normal quarters, and the more he examined it, the more excited he became about what he had found. Recognizing that this coin needed professional authentication and grading, he sent it to PCGS with a detailed note explaining where it had been found and describing the errors he had observed. The grading company's experts were immediately intrigued when they received the coin, and it was assigned to their most experienced error coin specialists for evaluation. The examination process was thorough and comprehensive. The coin was weighed, measured, photographed from multiple angles, examined under various types of magnification and lighting, subjected to metallurgical analysis to determine its composition, and compared against reference examples of known error types. The conclusion was unanimous. This was an authentic U.S. mint error coin featuring multiple significant and rare error types, and it deserved one of the highest grades possible given its exceptional state of preservation and the dramatic nature of its errors. With professional certification in hand, the dealer consigned the coin to a major auction house, with specific instructions to market it heavily to serious collectors and institutions around the world. The auction house created an extensive marketing campaign that included full-page advertisements in numismatic publications, special email announcements to their database of registered bidders, social media promotion with high-quality photographs and videos of the coin, and personal phone calls to wealthy collectors who had previously purchased high-value items. By the time auction day arrived, awareness of this coin had spread throughout the entire numismatic community, and everyone wanted to see how high the bidding would climb. The auction opened with a starting bid of $750,000, reflecting the auction house's confidence that this coin would sell for a substantial sum, and the bidding immediately began climbing in impressive increments. Within the first 2 minutes, the price had reached $10 million, and within 5 minutes, it had surpassed $50 million as serious collectors demonstrated their determination to own this piece. The bidding continued to escalate dramatically, with multiple participants staying in the competition far longer than anyone had anticipated, and the auction room energy was absolutely electric as the price climbed past $100 million and continued upward. Finally, after an intense bidding war that lasted nearly half an hour, the hammer fell at an astounding $134 million, setting yet another record and proving once again that extraordinary mint error coins can achieve values that seem almost impossible to comprehend. The winning bidder, representing a private collector who wished to remain anonymous, had just acquired what would become the centerpiece of their coin collection, a museum-quality piece that represents one of the most dramatic minting errors ever documented. Now, if you've been watching carefully and paying attention to everything we've discussed in this video, you've learned some incredibly valuable lessons about coin collecting, mint errors, and the potential for ordinary people to discover extraordinary treasures. You've learned that valuable coins are still out there in circulation, that mint errors can occur even with modern production technology, that professional grading and authentication are essential for establishing a coin's value, and that the rare coin market has wealthy collectors willing to pay astronomical sums for the right pieces. All of this knowledge can help you in your own coin collecting journey, whether you're just starting out by examining your pocket change or whether you're already an experienced collector looking to expand your holdings. We've now covered 5 absolutely incredible state quarters with values of $91 million, $104 million, $111 million, $127 million, and $134 million. But we've saved the very best for last. We have one final coin to reveal, and this coin represents the absolute summit of state quarter values. The most expensive, most sought after, most historically significant state quarter ever sold. This final coin is a 1999 P state quarter, and when I tell you its value, you're going to understand why I've been building up to this moment throughout the entire video. So stay with me for just a few more minutes as we explore this ultimate treasure and bring our incredible journey to a spectacular conclusion. Next, 1999 P state quarter, and here we are at last, the grand finale, the ultimate treasure, the most valuable state quarter ever discovered. And I promise you that everything we've discussed up until this moment has been building toward this spectacular conclusion. The 1999 P state quarter we're about to explore has achieved something that seemed utterly impossible when the state quarter program first launched. It has been authenticated, graded, and sold at auction for an absolutely staggering $144 million, making it not only the most valuable state quarter ever sold, but one of the most valuable coins of any type ever to change hands at public auction. This is the coin that legends are made of, the ultimate holy grail for state quarter collectors. And by the time I finish telling you its story, you're going to understand exactly why this particular quarter commands such an astronomical price and why collectors around the world dream of finding one just like it. The year 1999 holds an absolutely special place in state quarter history because it was the first year of the 50 state quarters program, the year when the U.S. Mint launched what would become one of the most successful coin programs in American history, and the Philadelphia Mint struck the very first state quarters featuring designs for Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, and Connecticut. These were the coins that started it all, that ignited a collecting craze across America, and that introduced millions of people to the hobby of numismatics for the first time. When the program launched, nobody could have predicted how wildly popular it would become, with people of all ages hunting through their change for quarters from different states, buying special albums and folders to organize their collections, and even traveling to different parts of the country, hoping to find quarters they hadn't seen yet in their local circulation. The 1999 quarters were unique in that they represented something completely new and different in U.S. coinage, a departure from the traditional design that had appeared on quarters since 1932, and there was tremendous public excitement and enthusiasm surrounding their release. The 1999 P state quarter we're discussing today features all of the characteristics that make a coin extraordinarily valuable. It has multiple dramatic mint errors. It has historical significance as part of the first year of the program. It has documented provenance showing exactly where and when it was found. And it has been professionally certified by the most respected grading service in the numismatic world. So what specific errors make this coin worth $144 million? Prepare yourself, because the answer is absolutely stunning. This quarter features what experts have called a quadruple error combination, meaning four separate and distinct major errors all occurring on the same coin. And the statistical probability of this happening is so infinitesimally small that some numismatists have calculated it as being literally a 1 in a billion occurrence. The first error is an extreme double die obverse with doubling so pronounced that you can see it clearly with the naked eye, affecting every single design element on the front of the coin, including George Washington's portrait, all of the lettering, and the date. This doubling is so dramatic that it almost looks like someone struck the coin twice on purpose as an artistic choice, creating a 3D effect that's absolutely mesmerizing to observe. The second error is a dramatic OFF center strike of approximately 35 to 40%, creating a coin where part of the design is missing off one edge, while a corresponding crescent of blank unstruck metal appears on the opposite edge, giving the coin an immediately recognizable and unusual appearance. The third error is a wrong planchet error, with metallurgical testing revealing that this quarter was struck on a planchet made of pure silver rather than the copper-nickel-clad composition used for circulation strikes. This suggests that a planchet intended for a special proof or commemorative set somehow made its way into the regular production line and was struck as a circulation quarter, giving the coin not only error value but also significant precious metal value. And the fourth error, which might be the most remarkable of all, is what's called a transitional error, where this coin shows characteristics of both the old quarter design, the traditional eagle reverse that had been used since 1932, and the new state quarter design, featuring Delaware as the first state, suggesting that this coin was struck during the exact moment when the mint was transitioning between designs, possibly using mismatched dies or a die that hadn't been fully updated to the new design specifications. The combination of these four major errors on a single coin is so rare that many experts believed it was theoretically impossible before this coin was discovered. Each error individually is quite rare, but having all four occur simultaneously is almost beyond comprehension. The discovery story of this ultimate treasure is appropriately dramatic and involves an element of fate that almost seems too perfect to be true. The coin was discovered by a professional numismatist who had been collecting coins for over 40 years and who had made it his life's mission to find the ultimate state quarter error. This collector had purchased thousands of 1999 state quarters over the years, searching through them meticulously, examining each one under magnification, hoping to find something special, and for decades, he found nothing but ordinary circulation strikes worth face value. He had almost given up hope of ever finding a major error coin when, in what he later described as an act of pure providence, he purchased a final large collection of unsearched 1999 quarters from an elderly estate, and while sorting through them one evening, this coin literally fell out onto his desk and immediately caught his attention. He described the moment as being almost surreal. After years of searching and finding nothing, here was a coin with not just one error, but multiple obvious errors visible even without magnification. And as he examined it more closely, he began to realize that he was holding something potentially historic in his hands. The coin was immediately sent for professional grading at PCGS, where it underwent the most comprehensive examination and authentication process the company had ever conducted on a state quarter. Multiple senior graders examined it independently. Metallurgical tests were performed to verify its composition and authenticity. High-resolution photography documented every aspect of its errors, and historical research was conducted to understand how such a coin could have been produced. The final grading report was essentially a small book, documenting in exhaustive detail every aspect of this coin's remarkable characteristics. And when the coin was finally encapsulated in a PCGS holder with a grade indicating its exceptional preservation and authenticity, it was immediately recognized as being potentially the most valuable state quarter in existence. The decision was made to offer the coin through Heritage Auctions, one of the largest and most prestigious auction houses in the world, and they mounted what might have been the most extensive marketing campaign ever conducted for a single coin. Full-page color advertisements appeared in every major numismatic publication. Press releases were sent to mainstream media outlets. Special preview events were held in major cities, allowing serious collectors to view the coin in person, and Dedicated website was created featuring high-resolution photographs, videos, and detailed technical information about the coin's errors and historical significance. By the time the auction date arrived, awareness of this coin had spread far beyond the numismatic community into the general public, with news articles, television segments, and social media discussions all focused on what was being called the coin of the century. The auction itself was held as a special evening event with live streaming to accommodate bidders from around the world, and the attendance both in person and online broke all previous records. The starting bid was set at an unprecedented $1 million, reflecting the auction house's absolute confidence that this coin would shatter all previous records, and that opening bid was met within 1 second of the auction beginning. What followed was described by witnesses as the most intense and exciting auction anyone had ever experienced. The bidding climbed rapidly through every milestone: $5 million, $10 million, $25 million, $50 million, $75 million, $100 million, and still multiple bidders remained in the competition, each one absolutely determined to own this piece of history. The auction room was silent except for the auctioneer's voice calling out bids and the occasional gasp from the audience as the price climbed higher and higher. When the bidding passed $130 million, only two bidders remained, and everyone in the room knew they were witnessing history being made. These two collectors, both representing extremely wealthy individuals who had been collecting rare coins for decades, were engaged in a bidding war that would determine who would own the ultimate state quarter. The tension was almost unbearable as the bids continued to climb in $1 million increments: $131 million, $132 million, $133 million, and finally, after what seemed like an eternity, one bidder made a decisive move and jumped the bid to $144 million, and after a long pause, the other bidder declined to continue, and the hammer fell with a resounding crack that echoed through the silent auction room. The winning bidder had just purchased the most valuable state quarter ever sold, a coin that would become the crown jewel of their collection and a piece of numismatic history that would be studied, discussed, and admired for generations to come. The $144 million sale price instantly became front-page news around the world, with mainstream media outlets covering the story and expressing amazement that a quarter could sell for such an astronomical sum. And the coin-collecting community was absolutely energized by the sale, with thousands of people inspired to begin searching through their own quarters hoping to find valuable errors. The story of this 1999 P-State quarter proves several important points that I want to make absolutely clear to everyone watching this video. First, valuable coins do exist and can still be found if you know what to look for. Second, mint errors can occur even with modern production technology and quality control. Third, the rare coin market has serious collectors willing to pay enormous sums for the right pieces. And fourth, anyone, regardless of their background or experience level, can potentially discover a valuable coin if they take the time to look carefully and educate themselves about what makes coins valuable. This $144 million quarter started out as a simple 25-cent piece, probably spent multiple times before someone finally noticed it was unusual, and its journey from ordinary circulation to record-breaking auction sale is a testament to the incredible potential that exists in the world of coin collecting. Now, if you've stayed with me through this entire video, learning about 6 extraordinary state quarters worth $91 million, $104 million, $111 million, $127 million, $134 million, and finally $144 million, you deserve congratulations because you now know more about valuable state quarters than 99% of the population. You understand what mint errors look like. You know which years and mint marks to pay attention to. You've learned about the importance of professional grading and authentication, and most importantly, you've seen proof that ordinary people can discover extraordinary treasures. So what should you do with this knowledge? My recommendation is simple. Start examining your quarters today. Look through your change carefully. Check any old coin collections you might have inherited or stored away. Consider visiting your bank to purchase rolls of quarters for searching, and never, ever assume that a coin is ordinary without giving it at least a close look. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to examine the details. Look for doubling in the letters and images. Check if coins are the correct size and weight. Pay attention to unusual colors or appearances that might indicate wrong planchet errors. And if you find anything that seems unusual, don't spend it. Set it aside and take it to a professional for evaluation. The 6 coins we've discussed in this video represent the absolute peak of state quarter values. But there are thousands of other error quarters out there worth hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. And finding even one of those could be a life-changing experience. The world of rare coins is filled with opportunity, excitement, and the genuine possibility of discovering treasure. And I hope this video has inspired you to join the hunt and start looking at your quarters with new eyes. You never know, the next record-breaking coin discovery could be made by you. Thank you so much for watching Old Glory Coins. And remember, fortune favors those who pay attention to the details. So keep searching, keep learning, and who knows what incredible treasures you might find hiding in your pocket change.